Sunday morning here on Long Island, plugged into Long Island on 102.3 WBAB and 106.1 BLI. My name is Ted Linder. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you're having a good weekend. With us this morning is Adrian Fassett, who is the CEO of the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, and Debra Sterling, the director of the Charitable Bail Fund Program, the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk. Thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for joining us and being plugged into Long Island.
Thank you for having us, and good morning, everyone.
I know it's early here on a Sunday, but a lot of good information, a lot of stuff to talk about here. Thanks for coming in early. Let's talk all about, first off, what you guys do and what the organization does as a whole for people in Suffolk County.
Okay, the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk is a nonprofit human service agency. We've been in existence. This is actually our 50th anniversary. We've been in existence since 1967. We came about Lyndon Johnson, War on Poverty. And what we do, our major mission and our goal is to help individuals become self-sufficient. So we have many programs across Suffolk County. We have programs such as we run child care centers. We do care coordination for people with disabilities. We do care coordination for people with chronic illnesses. We do affordable housing program. We help people prevent foreclosure prevention. We do community development. We actually own a candy store in Patchogue. We also work with what they call Medicaid redesign and assisting people to keep them out of the emergency rooms. We also do violence prevention programs in Wyandanch, a snug program where we work with the gang elements in the communities to prevent violence. So we do an array of programs in Suffolk County.
And the Charitable Bail Fund program, let's talk all about that, why Suffolk County needs it and how it works. Okay,
why Suffolk County needs it? Well, let me tell you a little bit about how it came about in Suffolk County, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Got a telephone call one day from then Congressman Steve Israel. He asked me to meet him in Astoria to go see a program in the Bronx, which I never understood why we had to go to Astoria to go to the Bronx, but I met him at a diner there. He's a diner junkie.
A lot of, I was going to say, a lot of Greek cafes. Which diner did you go to? Neptune?
Yeah, it was Neptune.
Yeah,
wow.
Neptune Diner, yeah.
Whoa,
that's a great spot. That's right at the foot of the Triborough Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good spot. I have a buddy who used to be a bouncer there late at night. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. My friend David, who lives here, who lives in St. Albans, Queens. So he's not even in Astoria either, but he took the job. And 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, all the guys would come in from the the Greek clubs and everything, and there'd always be some sort of melee. So they had a few guys that were in the door in the lobby there that kind of kept guard. So my friend David was one of the quote unquote bouncers there for years. Yeah, it's a great diner.
Yeah, it is. That's interesting. So he took us. He took me up to the Bronx, and at that, I had never heard of the program before. It was called the Bronx Freedom Fund, and I was blown away. And the program was a program to assist individuals, to bail individuals out of jail who have committed a misdemeanor, and the bail was $2,000 or less. And the way they looked at it and the way we look at it is a social economic issue, because individuals who end up in jail, say for $500 in bail, and they can't meet bail.
Right.
They end up losing their job. They might lose their housing. They might lose custody of their children. And so we saw this as something that was really needed in Suffolk County.
Right. And for people that may not know, like a misdemeanor is a
crime that's less than a felony.
Right, right. So it's something, so you get in trouble. Is it something like, for example, like getting busted with, for possessing weed or something?
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
DWI could be criminal mischief.
Petty larceny.
Right. So basically, like, you have these, some people that are getting in trouble, getting arrested, getting charged with a misdemeanor, and then it ruins their lives because now they can't afford to meet the bail, or they're in jail for a longer period of time. Is that correct?
That's
Absolutely.
correct.
Right.
That's the key right there.
So now you guys, you meet Steve Israel. Take us through, and then what happens?
And it just blew me away. And I said, we need this program in Suffolk County. And the Bronx Freedom Fund, the individuals there, said they would give us technical assistance in setting up this program in Suffolk County. So the first thing I did was I came back and I met with the administrative court judge, Randy Hendricks, to see if this was something that he felt with flying Suffolk County, because it's very important that you get buy-in from the court system. If you
Right.
don't get buy-in from the court system, it's not going anywhere. He thought the program was fantastic, and he actually organized all the key players to sit down at the table for us to put this program together in Suffolk County. The legal aid department, the sheriff's department, the clerks, he put all the key players together.
Everyone, right?
Right.
Right. Now, how do defendants get chosen to be part of the program?
Debra?
Okay, so what we were able to do is come up with a criteria overall that legal aid would do the majority of the screenings.
Okay.
And, so what happens is we receive a referral from the Legal Aid Society, and then from there we review it and we look and we see if this person would indeed qualify overall. So it starts with getting in contact with family, friends, someone who they actually may have ties to the community.
Right.
Because the whole goal of the program is to help them get back to self-sufficiency. So once we bail them out, we have a full process of linking them with a caseworker from there that will continue to work on any needs that they have.
Right, because it's not just about bailing them out. You also want to try and turn their lives around.
Give them
Correct.
some wraparound
Right.
services, to assist them with any needs that they might have.
And you want to talk a little bit more, talk about the agency's mission overall? Give us like a complete overview, and then also a website for people to be able to check out this morning.
Our overall mission is to, it's like six sentences, but to put it in a nutshell, is to help individuals become self-sufficient. Our website is www.eoc-suffolk.com. If you go there, you can see all the many programs that we operate in Suffolk County and how to make the contacts to a specific program that an individual might be interested in.
Plugged into Long Island this morning, talking with the folks from the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, the Charitable Bail Fund program. How are you guys funded?
We're funded we're using agency funds. Our agency's been fortunate enough to have corporate funds that we're using at this point. We are looking for donations for the program. But right now we're using corporate funds that the board has assigned for us to use for this pilot project. Cool.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, you talked about how you traveled to the Bronx and this has worked other places. Have you guys seen a quote unquote success rate with the program so far? You have any stories?
Well, our program is still new, but I would say look at the program in the Bronx. There's only 3 programs, certified programs in the state. It's the Bronx Freedom Fund, the Brooklyn Charitable Bail Fund, and our program. And look at the success rate of the Bronx. The Bronx has bailed out over 600 individuals. 95% of them return to court, because that's a key thing too. You want people to return to court, otherwise you lose your bail money.
Right.
And what's more amazing about that too is that most of these individuals end up pleading down to a violation or charges being completely dropped.
Right.
So not only are they not charged with a misdemeanor, it's been reduced to a violation, which is very important when you're applying for jobs, because if you really don't have a record if you're accused of a violation. Right. And a lot of times it's thrown out of court.
Right. Mm-hmm. One of the keys with all of this is, and something that you guys obviously help with, is the key is great legal representation, correct? I mean, that's one of the keys we see in our justice system.
Right. Really making sure that they stay in contact with their legal aid attorney so that they can continue to fight the charges from afar with getting back to school, getting back to work. When you ask about success, as far as our start since November 14th, of 2016, we have had great successes, which I would mark as successes, where we have been able to bail out, a mother close to Christmas off of a petty larceny charge overall, where, her family did not have the funds to post bail at all. And it would have been a sad situation.
So she was able to be home for the holidays with her family.
Right, she was able to make it home, and from there, she's continued to stay in contact with us. She's made every single court date. So it's really, it really makes us feel good to see that, they're following through with having the extra supportive services from us.
How did you guys, give us a little background, your backgrounds. How did you guys get involved with this?
With the agency itself?
Yeah.
Well, I've been with the agency 30 years. I started as a teacher in Longwood, and then I went on to be administrator at a college. And I got a little tired of the politics at the college. I don't know if people know there's a lot of politics in the college setting. And I went to the Economic Opportunity Council as a grant writer. And from there, I worked my way up to Chief Executive Officer, which I've been that since 1992. And it's really rewarding to me for me to be able to help residents of Suffolk County. Many of them, I've known their families or community members that mean so much to me.
Now you've been around, as admittedly, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel things are getting better?
Things are getting better. And one thing I realized being in this business is that once you tackle one problem,
15 others pop up.
15 other pop up.
Right.
So what we're doing now, we didn't do 10 years ago, we didn't do 20 years ago, and what we're doing now, we probably won't be attacking 10 years from now.
Right.
So it's cyclical, it's different things. Years ago, it was the crack epidemic. Now we see the heroin epidemic. So, we don't, years ago it was HIV, AIDS. You don't hear too much of that, but now it's hepatitis. So, there's always an issue that needs to be addressed in our communities.
Yeah. Heroin is a big thing now.
Big thing.
Right, not just on Long Island too, across the country.
Across the country,
become a big. Actually, have a friend who just died of heroin overdose or a bad batch or whatever. 30 years old.
I'm
about
sorry
a month
to hear
ago.
that.
Yeah, just terrible. And Debra, how did you get involved?
I got involved. I've been working in advocacy services for quite some time. I was a domestic violence advocate, and our funding had gotten cut. And I was able to meet with EOC, and they brought me on. So I've been with them for about 3 years, and I started under their health homes program, doing the data. And then from there, the opportunity came up with the SNUG program,
right.
Violence Prevention. So I started working that program, and then this wonderful program to continue to assist people within the community with the Charitable Bail Fund was brought to my attention, and that's pretty much where it's going from here. So,
are you in contact with law enforcement? I mean, do you work with? I know the Suffolk Police have a new police commissioner who was in a few months ago talking about a new public service with the locking your keys. Make sure you lock the doors in your car. Sini was here a few months ago. How has law enforcement been?
Well, why don't you explain your SNUG program? I think that's very important.
Yeah, please.
Mm-hmm.
So the SNUG program overall works within the target area of Wyandanch, the Wyandanch community, and our overall focus is to prevent shootings and killings. So when someone is shot, we're alerted by the Suffolk County Police Department, the 1st Precinct, and then from there we respond by going to the hospital, going out into the community, and that's when a bullet hits the body overall. So we're out there to try to keep things calm, provide every kind of service from, helping with the funeral if it comes down to that. If someone is shot and paralyzed, linking them up with additional services. So
on the streets and making a difference in the community.
Right.
Yes.
For people listening this morning, maybe some contact information if they want more information.
Sure. You can reach us at 631-289-2124. Once again, that's 631-289-2124. That's the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk. Our website is www.eoc-suffolk.com.
Adrian Fassett, the CEO of the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, and Debra Sterling, the director of the Charitable Bail Fund program, with us this morning, plugged into Long Island, talking about the organization, the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, and working in the community here on Long Island in Suffolk County. Going forward, what are some of the goals, some of the things that you guys want to try and achieve over the next couple of years?
Well, over the next couple of years on the charitable bail bond side, we would like to see the program expand as far as more employees in the program. We have to be licensed bail bond agents. I'm a bail bond agent, so is Debra.
Yes.
And it gets a little, we also have to deal with our day-to-day responsibilities, so it gets a little difficult on us sometimes when we have to run out and bail somebody out. So we're looking to expand the program. Hopefully from additional funding so we could have more bail bonds agents. We would also like to be able to bail people out on the weekend. Right now, we can only bail people out Monday to Friday.
Right.
Simply because we don't have the resources, the manpower for weekend hours and whatnot. So we'd like to see the program expand. And there's some other ways we could expand the program. Right now, we can only take referrals from legal aid, but there are some court-appointed attorneys that aren't legal aid attorneys that could make referrals too, but we don't have the capacity at that point to take that on.
Right. I wanted to ask you guys, how important is it for people to be given a second chance? There's a stigma sometimes in society. People, they go down a certain path, they make a mistake, they get in trouble, get arrested, go to jail. How important is it for these people to be given that second chance, that opportunity?
I think it's very important. One of the things about the bail bonds program is that with this program, sometimes you help them before, quote, they need a second chance. Just to give you, just to tell you what I'm speaking about here, is that some people, when they're in jail, say on a $300 bail and they're sitting out in jail, they would plead guilty just to get out of jail.
Right.
If we bail them out and they could fight their case up front and personal, a lot of these people, they either the charges are dropped or it's pleaded down to a violation, so they don't need a second chance because they really don't have a record.
Right.
Which is important. But as the agency, we pride ourselves on hiring people who have had discretions and bad discretionary ideas in the past. And we hire ex-offenders, so we think that's so important. And to be honest with you, some of my best employees are individuals who are ex-offenders.
Interesting. Interesting. So very, very important, the rehabilitation,
right?
That second chance, and getting back into the community, and,
right.
and that's probably a big help too. Working, having them right back in working for you,
right?
Working
exactly.
with you.
And their loyalty to you because you gave them a chance is phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah.
I just believe that a second chance, it's everything, and it shows in what happens when the person is able to make those strides and the pride that they have overall in coming back into the community and showing that if they could change, it's possible for someone else. So they're, in a sense, for lack of better words, I guess a poster child of just showing that, it's possible.
Right.
It's possible not to give up that hope, and that's like one of the main components of our youth and adolescent services, to be into the schools and to let the children know that there is hope, for them. So, it starts at a very young age as well, that they're getting to see better examples out in their community.
Right.
So it's everything.
Yeah. And I would just like to, I'd be remiss if I didn't give props to the administrative court judge, Randy Hendricks, legal aid, and the Sheriff's Department, who, when I talk to some of my other counterparts that are running programs, the system seems to be working against them. Here in Suffolk County, everybody's working with us.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing.
A beautiful experience.
It's been a beautiful experience working with them.
Sheriff Pete?
Yep.
Sheriff Pete is a great guy. He comes in here, and he's part of our, I don't know if we do every summer, we do a policeman's tug of war on the beach, where the Suffolk police and the Nassau police line up, and, it's a big tug of war, and they get very competitive. But the Sheriff Pete's team, I don't know if I can't remember if they won last year. I think Nassau won, but Sheriff Pete's, always, around and a good guy.
Yeah, our key contact is... get it right.
Okay. And that would be Warden Hennessy. And he's been in contact with me. He's made it very comfortable for me to go in and to meet with the potential clients. The staff at Riverhead and Yaphank have just been absolutely wonderful.
Right.
He told me in the beginning that it's not the most comfortable place to be overall, but getting in there and going through step by step exactly what he told me to do, I can't say enough about what they have provided, the service to us.
Do you think that the relationship between the community and the police departments is getting better?
That's a good one for you, Debra.
You know what? I think that it is right now, because there has been a lot of people that are showing up to the community meetings. that are getting engaged in their community to see what's happening. We have, COPE officers who are out within the community, and they're making it a lot safer, overall. So as far as feedback from the community, they are starting to feel better. We haven't had some of the issues that other places unfortunately have had in Suffolk County, and I think that it has a lot to do with the different heads and leads at the precincts.
Right. It felt like there were way too many this past year, right? We had a ton of them. Yeah.
And we haven't had any here in Suffolk, so that's
kudos
to us at this point. So
my pet peeve with the Suffolk County Police Department, and I'm not talking out of school, I've spoken to the commissioner and also the county exec on this, is that we really don't have minorities in the command positions.
Right.
And I think that's so important because everything starts at the top. So I remember when I grew up, the first precinct here had a black precinct commander. There has not been a black precinct commander in 30 years. That's pretty pathetic. So I think they still have to work on getting more minorities in command positions. And even though they have a deputy commissioner, Risco, she's not in command. She's really a civilian within the police department. But we need more minorities in command positions within the precincts.
Right. And that, you think that would help strengthen the community relations as well?
Definitely.
Right.
Absolutely, because it goes into also looking at cultural sensitivities, overall.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get a real feel for what's happening within the communities that you're walking through. And when you have no one that looks like you or even understands your plight, it gets a little uncomfortable for the folks that are within these communities.
Right. I mean, we've had issues. I don't want to get too political with this. I mean, there have been issues like this. One of the ones is the case in New York City. It happened, I want to say it was like November of 2014. I'm pretty good with dates.
Okay.
It was the fellow who was shot and killed in the stairwell in the apartments.
Okay.
I think his name was Akai Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
And the officer seemed like he was probably scared for his life. Had never been in a neighborhood or a community like that. Got thrown onto the force, thrown into that neighborhood, and he panicked, and his gun went off, and maybe went off accidentally in that stairwell, and killed the guy, killed the unarmed guy. I think he has been punished. He's been brought up. I think he was convicted. I can't remember what. But but so this kind of thing, helping to bridge that, and getting some of these officers and people in these command positions that have experienced what some of these people have experienced.
And they set the tone for the community. They set the tone for the communities. They set the tone for their police officers under their command. That's very important.
Right.
And for again, for the community members to come out to those monthly meetings that are held in all of the 7 Suffolk County precinct areas.
Right.
The residents really, I encourage them to come out to speak and to express what they're seeing.
Get involved and maybe even run for office, or run
possible.
for the local city council positions and seats. Definitely getting involved with the communities. Now, for people listening this morning that want to get in contact, again, give out your contact information.
My name is Adrian Fassett. My contact information is my telephone number is 631-289-2124, extension 103.
My name is Debra Sterling, and my contact information is
give me your cell phone number.
My cell phone 631-432-3024, or they could email me at dsterling@eoc-suffolk.com.
What would you say to the moms and dads out there, or maybe even some of the people who are looking to turn their lives around? Give them some inspirational thoughts here to wrap us up this morning.
Well, moms and dads, it's very important to know where your kids are, what your kids are doing, and there's nothing like, I'm going to be honest with you, just support and love of your child. That is so important. That is so important.
Right.
But be aware of where your children are, what they are doing. I know it's hard now with technology. Everybody's on their cell phone, but that's so important that you know what your children are into. Debra, your thoughts?
My thoughts are it just all comes down to love. Years ago, you were able to reach out and see someone's child in the community who was, doing good, bad, or indifferent, and you were able to speak and say something, to them. Our sense of community overall has changed. So I just think just everyone coming together and just loving one another and not giving up on themselves and on their community, and just having that hope and to believe that things will get better. And reach out to your clergy, anyone who's around who you can talk to. Don't sit in silence, and just reach out and stay focused on what you want to do with your life, and try to find places where they will assist you with those services.
Excellent. Guys, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and anytime you want to come back, if you have any events coming up or anything else, feel free throughout the year, and look forward to hearing more.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you
right.
very much.
Have a good morning.
You too.
Adrian Fassett, the CEO of the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, and Debra Sterling, the director of the Charitable Bail Fund program of the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, with us this morning, plugged into Long Island. If you'd like more information about the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk or the Charitable Bail Fund program, you can go online to EOC-Suffolk.com. That's EOC-Suffolk.com. Or you can call them at 631-289-2124. That's 631-289-2124, extension 101, and ask for Stephanie. My name is Ted Linder. You've been plugged into Long Island this morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.